it's like a toaster-sized device. The idea is that it's similar to an espresso machine. You get the device, it's inexpensive, and then the panels will live on cartridges, and the cartridges will be disposable. So you'll drop using an arm collector, the easy draw device that I mentioned. That'll pull the blood. You'll drop the blood onto the cartridge and stick that into the toaster-sized device. That will then give you your blood test results in a matter of minutes instead of days, and you have full control. So you can get any number of panels that you want on these different cartridges, use them once, dispose of them. The panels themselves will be extraordinarily inexpensive. I actually don't know if we've settled on. I know we have a target price in mind, but cheaper than what the equivalents today cost. And it's in your own home, and it's in your control, and it's like, 30 minutes.
Hello, Jordan. You are the head of growth at Siphox Health, which is a leading at-home testing company. So, welcome to Modern Healthspan, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. I'm excited to talk to you.
So, Jordan, I said that Siphox Health is this leading at-home testing company. So, but
Mhm.
can you expand on that? So, what are the key
Yeah.
services that Siphox offers?
Yeah. So I guess I'll back up a bit and start from where that initially came from. This company was founded to build an at-home blood testing device. You spoke to Mike, our founder, a few years ago about that. That has been in progress for around 5 years. I don't know, we'll talk about it later. But a few years in, we launched a direct-to-consumer blood testing service with more or less off-the-shelf technology. So there are mailing kits. You collect your sample at home, send it to our lab, and then you view your results in our dashboard. And over time, we built more and more around that and on top of that. And so it's grown into like a much better experience, and the services have really expanded. So that's where we came from. So everything we do revolves around diagnostics and testing. I mean, the core thesis, I guess, is data driven, health improvements. And so we have a few health programs. Each of them is centered around their own test. We have what we call the ultimate program, which is you test everything that we have to offer every time you test, a heart metabolic program, which is a heart metabolic focused panel, a hormone focus program, just a hormone focused panel. And then when you test, you fill out a questionnaire, you can connect your wearables, you can connect CGM and so on. So we can aggregate all of this data, and that really, I guess, boosts the potential of the insights and recommendations that we're able to give you, because we can correlate across all of these different dimensions. Does that make sense?
That does, yes.
Yeah.
Uh, so, how do you ensure that the blood, or at least the blood and the metabolites, remain stable in transit?
Right. So we have two forms of testing, collecting blood for our main panels. One of them is a dry blood spot. It's a finger prick test. You drop it on what looks like a piece of paper. It's a really cool piece of technology, though, that it separates the blood on this sheet of what looks like sheet of paper, and that stabilizes it for around 14 days, which is essentially makes it safe to send through postage system, to send from Canada, and so on. So, and then that gets to the lab. They rehydrate the sample, and they run the tests. We launched in the last year a wet blood sample collection, which is much more comfortable than the finger prick, but it introduces more logistical issues because that is not stable. Wet blood is not stable for 14 days. So it's got a much shorter period of time, which makes it a little more expensive on our end because we need to make sure that it gets shipped overnight. We send ice packs to the user. So there are a few more steps in there, but the collection itself is you basically, I assume you've done a continuous glucose monitor.
Mhm.
Have you used one of the arm collector
I
devices?
yeah, I've used an ARM device. You
Uh,
you just put the phone and it reads it. Yeah.
uh, uh, yeah, but have you used one to collect
Oh,
blood?
no, no, I have not.
Uh, so it feels exactly like a CGM. You stick it to your arm, you press a button, which creates a vacuum. You feel as much of a prick as you do on the CGM, and it essentially pulls the blood out and fills a vial of blood automatically without you needing to do anything really. So it's extremely comfortable, but you need a freeze and ice pack, and we need to ship it overnight to the lab. So we that is how we ensure that it stays stable. Of course, we can't service yet like Canada with the red drop because with the arm collector, we call it easy draw, because shipping back to our lab in the States is sometimes takes a long time from Canada. It's just a lot less reliable. So right now that's only in the US. But the finger prick is much more logistically easy. Say.
Right. But I must admit, when I use the finger prick, I mean, I haven't done
Mhm.
your test, but I've done other tests. Yeah, just getting the blood out is a real problem. I just don't have enough
The
blood.
yeah, I think for seasoned collectors, it's easy. Like it's easier after your first time. Right now, I could fill out our biggest panel with like one prick, and I know what to do. I'm not doing it right after I wake up. You're supposed to do it within the first hour or so of waking up, and so people generally like sometimes roll right out of bed, and your blood's not flowing, and so first time can be difficult. But we every time you collect your blood, you have the option to hop on a live call with one of our in-house, uh, we call them blood collection experts. It's what they are. They just coach people through the process, and that the success rate there is much higher than if you don't do that for your first time.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, no,
but
that makes sense.
I'll say it is more difficult than the draw, hence the name.
Okay. Okay. And you need a bit more blood because you're going to run so many tests on it than like I guess one off blood
Um,
draws.
you need more blood for what? Like the easy draw versus
No,
finger
no, for the finger
prick?
prick, it's just one little space you put on the paper, or you have multiple.
It depends on the panel, how big the panel is. It's anywhere from four to, I believe the largest one is 12 or 16 drops of blood.
Right.
So, uh, uh,
Okay.
yeah, it depends. But the easy draw, it's hard to compare them. Easy draw just fills a vial.
Yeah. That certainly seems a lot easier. Okay. And
Yeah.
then you said the paper separates, so it separates like the red blood from the plasma in some way on the paper, which seems
Mhm.
really cool. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know anyone else who does that.
Yeah, it's actually that so that's not our technology. There are a few other there's the piece of paper itself is called um, an ADX card. It's an FDA cleared collection uh, method, I suppose. But yeah, I think it's relatively new, like end of the 2010s, maybe 2019. It was cleared. Don't quote me on that, but around there. And then the arm collector came around a few years afterward. Uh, so the arm collector is really popular now, I'll say. Um, yeah.
Yeah,
You did you you're in Hong Kong, right?
yeah, I'm in Hong Kong. I haven't tried your test.
Did you do the you said you tried the finger prick one.
I've done finger pricks, but not for
Uh-uh.
your test. Yeah.
Do you do
Uh,
them from Hong Kong
yeah. Yeah. Um,
with companies local to the area?
uh, Yes, some have been local, but some have been in the US. I did an NAD test, and
Okay.
you need to ship it. It needs to be like get there in a week, I think they said.
And there's some tests with longer, we're looking into this now, but like some microplastics test that is stable for, I think it's over a month. It really depends on the analyte, the biomarker that you're testing. Yeah.
Okay, so can we dive into the groups? So you have like four different testing groups, is that right? So what was kind of the thinking behind setting up those groups?
So we have four, you mean the programs or
Yeah, the programs is what I would call is what you call them. Yeah.
um mostly demand driven. So we started with the core test. We call this the core test. Really, it's an artifact of this was the first test that we launched years ago, and it was the most comprehensive panel on the market for at-home blood testing at the time. Now we have a more comprehensive panel, but the thought behind it was just most important biomarkers from every category that we could test from home, essentially. So you have an advanced cardiovascular, uh, uh, advanced cardiovascular biomarkers, including like ApoB, ApoA, and then your cholesterols, triglycerides, metabolic biomarkers, HbA1c, and you have some thyroid biomarkers and then some hormones in there as well. So it kind of touched most of the bases and goes pretty deep on cardiometabolic health. Um, and that we've expanded the panel from like that. We treated it as a foundation, and then we created like panel expansions on top of them. So you can still today expand that to include a deeper dive into your hormones or a deeper dive into your thyroid health or include more metabolic biomarkers, liver, kidney biomarkers. Um, so that was the basis, I guess, of everything that we've built since. From there, we decided that it'd be really valuable to our members if we were able to um, create, and this was in partnership with some leading doctors in the space, heart and metabolic evaluation system. So we developed this heart and metabolic health phenotype, basically takes your biomarkers. I think it's ApoB and then trig HDL ratio are the main ones for deciding your phenotype and puts you in one of four quadrants. You're either insulin sensitive and like you have your lipids under control, your insulin under control, or just like any combination of those two being in control, out of control. And one of our in-house health experts, they're all MDs that specialize in functional medicine. They actually write a full assessment for everybody in that program. So that was that the core program started with like a an augmentation of what you would test in your annual physical. And we built this like bank of insights recommendations, which I know you want to talk about around that. And we have somebody reviewing each one of those reports. The heart and metabolic assessment program is more of like a hands-on. MD is very involved in writing this assessment for you, and we built like this criteria for evaluating your heart and metabolic health. And then the hormone focus, we just know that we had a lot of demand for a really extensive hormone panel. And then our fourth program, and we're not stopping at four, we have a few more on deck, but our fourth program was born out of a lot of users and potential users really just want to test as much as they can test. And so we took our core panel and we added all of the biomarkers that you can expand the core panel to include. And that became the ultimate panel. So it's almost 50 biomarkers you can test at home at a lower price than you would get anywhere else.
It's surprising how little we discuss the potential effects of Wi Fi, 5G, and Bluetooth on our bodies. These EMF signals are everywhere, and research suggests that EMFs may open calcium channels in our cells, letting calcium flood in and putting our cells under constant stress. This is where magnesium comes in. It helps close the channels to keep calcium in check. But most of us don't get enough magnesium. And when your body is constantly bombarded by EMFs, your magnesium burn rate skyrockets. And most supplements only use one or two basic forms that your body can't absorb well. That's why I use Magnesium Breakthrough from BiOptimizers. It's the only one with all 7 essential forms of magnesium designed for real absorption, so I can sleep better and stay calm and balanced. If you want to try Magnesium Breakthrough, go to bioptimizers.com/modern and use code MODERN10 to save 10%. They offer a full 365-day money-back guarantee. And if you subscribe, you will get amazing discounts and free gifts. The hormone panel, is that sex specific or you not?
Like there are some differences, and what makes it difficult on our end is there are actually a few differences in the biomarkers that are included if you do the finger prick versus the arm collector, for now at least. But I think like the male hormone focus panel, I don't believe includes progesterone, where the female panel does, but it includes, and of course, it doesn't include AMH. It's not relevant for males. The female panel includes testosterone, free testosterone. I believe it includes everything the male hormone panel does. So the male hormone panel, I might be off on this and I can double check right now, but is, I believe, 13 hormone focused biomarkers and hormone like adjacent biomarkers like vitamin B12 and folate. And the female panel is 14, I believe.
Okay, but it's the same test. It's
More or less.
it's the same box. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. How often? So you have subscription services,
Mm-hmm.
but how often would you recommend people get tested? So suppose I'm an older person, so I'm like 50, 60, relatively healthy, so I don't have any chronic diseases. I'm not checking to make sure that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, how my disease is going. But I want to watch to see, make sure everything's, behaving correctly. How often do you recommend that a person would get tested?
I typically recommend to start with and I consult a lot of our customers on this actually. So I typically recommend to start with every 3 months. So we offer every month, every 3 months, every 6 months. It's very flexible though. Like I tell people to treat that as the default schedule because you can always pull your next test up early or push it back if you feel like you don't need a test. I recommend to start with every 3 months just because it's a tighter feedback loop. Like if you make any changes based on your blood test, testing again 6 months later, it's likely you didn't keep up with, the regimen that you tried. 3 months is a little easier to do that. And then every month is just if you don't have a specific condition that you're monitoring or tracking or a reason to test every month, like you'll be making a lot of changes over the next few months to optimize for something. Every month is a little crazy. It's just a lot. So I think every 3 months it's easy enough to do. You also are able to catch and track like seasonal changes. Vitamin D, testosterone really changes throughout the seasons. And if you just test annually, you will not catch that. If you test every 6 months, you might attribute some of the seasonal changes to there are obviously a lot of confounding factors always. But it makes it a little easier to attribute changes to in your biomarker values to changes you've made in your life, or things out of your control. So every 3 months is a good, that's more or less the schedule that I'm on. I test a little more frequently than that. But yeah, that's what I typically recommend.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we've got all these markers.
Mhm.
And then you offer recommendation. Can you talk about how the recommendation system works?
Yeah. Um, so the recommendation takes into account your current biomarker values, your past biomarker values, the past recommendations you've been given, lifestyle questionnaire answers. That includes, we'll ask you about your diet, your activity level, what exercises you do. If you're a female and you're testing your hormones, we ask, what what period time in your cycle are you, if what trimester you are, if you're pregnant, and these things that vary your hormone biomarkers crazy. And so we gather all of that information that helps us, the female hormone questions specifically help us adjust our ranges, like what's appropriate to say, this is optimal or this is good, or you should pay attention to this biomarker value depends super heavily what state you're in, basically, for female hormones. But most of the questions feed into our recommendation system or help our health experts write your assessment if you're getting a heart metabolic assessment. And then we've built up over the years a really large bank of insights and recommendations and rules, based on your biomarker value, everything I just mentioned. And so we have a very robust bank of insights and recommendations at this point. Everything is cited with like peer reviewed top tier journals, references, directly. I can actually show you my portal if that would be helpful. So this is my portal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is the latest. My previous test is actually more interesting for insights and recommendations. So here we get this biological age. This is based on if you have a certain set of biomarkers present, we're able to calculate this. So this is a model that we've developed that's purely based on biomarkers. It's not like a DNA methylation test, although we do also.
Is it based on phenoage or related? Because there's a phenoage biomarker test.
This is like are you referencing the like DNA methylation test?
But there is a biomarker version of phenoage. It also has a DNA age. It also has
I,
a methylation one, but
Yeah, so when we developed this, we looked at a few models that existed, and there was one really popular one. It might be what you're discussing, that I think it like heavily weights your like liver enzymes, and anyway,
okay.
this is it's similar to that. This is built fully in-house based on the associations that we've seen between biomarkers and age. Um, so you get that with every test. And then here, like, it's not a bad test for me actually. But here with every blood test, you'll see these insights here under each category. My triglycerides here are actually remarkably low. That could indicate malnutrition. Basically recommends I look into this further. Yeah, I should probably like after this, I did take a thyroid test, but test to, I think hypothyroidism can lead to low triglycerides or malnutrition. Definitely not malnourished. So you'll see your insights show up right on the report here. And then if you click, like this is, yeah, let's go to the triglycerides here. You click in here, you can see all the information that um, you see a lot of educational information on this biomarker itself, the lab ranges, where we got those ranges from, um, the Siphox ranges as well. So Siphox are our own in-house developed range system. Lab ranges tend to be extremely broad and imprecise, in our opinion. Um, and then this is the interesting part. Um, we give you recommended actions based on your blood test result and everything that I mentioned before, your lifestyle questionnaire data, your previous insights, and so on. And you can yourself put together an action plan. So we reference why a lot of these are my historical recommendations. So a lot of them are fine now. But we reference specifically why we recommend this. You can see directly there the references here, the blood test, and then you can add it to your plan or say you're not interested in this, um, and so on. So that's this is right now how we present everything. Um, we have a few different ways of viewing this as well.
So
And
it
then, oh,
mm.
go on.
so it's pulling your where is it? How does it decide on your goals? Okay, so I can see that for markers, you would
Mhm.
say you generally want to have your markers in range, although for things like LDL, you know, people argue about what the correct range should be. But
Right.
um, do you also take goals uh, from the lifestyle questionnaire, like I want to lose weight or I want more lean mass, or
Hmm.
is
Yeah.
that true? And how does that work?
Yeah, exactly. So when you register your kit, the lifestyle questionnaire is super in depth and covers really almost covers everything that we thought might impact insights and recommendations. So that includes goals. And the assessment, for example, if let me see what like contradicting if you have a goal to lose a lot of weight and you decide that you're going to intermittent fast, I don't actually think this would be a rule. I'm probably wrong about this, but we might your hormones would probably be off. Intermittent fasting causes low testosterone. Typically, low testosterone leads to higher it makes it more difficult to lose weight. But anyway, there might be like some contradicting insights in there. And the only way to reconcile that is your goal. So if you have like a goal to lose weight, but that means like some hormones are off, we're not going to give you insights on your hormone, or the insights that we give you might be your hormones are off here, but that's okay because, or this is expected because you are intermittent fasting and you're doing that to lose weight or something like that, right? So we do feed really everything into the insights and recommendations. And moreover, this little bar here, chat with Sai, this is our, I think I mentioned this to you maybe via email, but this is our own LLM, like AI health consultant that we launched. And this is a super powerful tool. We're still, building a lot on top of this. But Sai has your entire test history in its context. It has all of your lifestyle questionnaire information in its context, all of your wearable data that you've connected, the insights and action items that we've given you. And so you can talk to Sai about, the insights and recommendations, and it's fully aware of your current health situation, which is really interesting.
Yeah, that sounds. So I had one. That sounds really interesting. I had one question, one thought. Have
Hmm?
you, from your data, have you seen anything that contradicts what you would expect from the literature?
Interesting.
And who would you follow in that case?
There are of course we've like done deep dives into our data. We often, I mean, this also feeds into recommendations and insights, and we couldn't build insights directly from our own data. We would probably launch a study to validate the claims. But yeah, there's one thing in particular that's coming to mind. Has to do with male hormones, and the trend differs from what you'd expect, and from literature, just because of medical interventions. I don't know that I should reveal exactly what the
Yeah,
data
that's
say,
fine.
but
That's fine. But it's it is an interesting thought that, I mean, in a way, you're doing like a large scale study, but it's so multifaceted because you've got
right.
so many moving parts. Um,
The
that
difficulty is control.
yeah,
Is we can't control for what the individuals do, and their behavior. And we're getting the lifestyle questionnaire helps us control for that a lot. But people inadvertently even don't give the full truth all the time, or miss something, forget something. Maybe we're not asking all of the questions, and so we're not capturing all confounding factors. Um, yeah,
yeah, but I was thinking more of correlations. It's like, you know, you suggest this supplement or something, and things go a different way. Or in the published data, the supplement would do this, but it doesn't. But okay, let's do that. So, what kind of recommendations do you make? Like diet, supplement, exercise, sleep,
all
anything else?
all of the above. We also recommend like further diagnostics. If I don't know exactly what triggers this, it might be like super high ApoB, or we might recommend you get a CAC scan. We and then we can help book that for you. Also we focus on lifestyle functional medicine, but medication is necessary in some cases. It's always up to the individual. But let's say you do match this criteria, you have super high ApoB, we do uh, recommend you check if you're eligible for prescription management. So to get on lipid lowering medications like statins, or ezetimibe, and then we also can manage that for you. Basically, anything we recommend, we try to make it as easy as possible to do, or at least to look into. So we help assess if you're eligible for prescriptions in that case, and then if you'd like, we can manage that for you if you choose uh, to go that route. Yeah, diagnostics, diet, exercise. Again, if you say that you don't exercise and you won't ever exercise, we're not going to recommend that you exercise. So we try to get creative with our insights and recommendations in those cases. Um, and yeah, those are probably the top hitting ones. And connecting wearables really helps us in those cases, because we can see you are getting a lot of steps, but you're minutes of intense exercise every week is zero, or you should try HIIT, or you're not getting any steps, or you're actually sleeping like less than 6 hours a night and your testosterone's super low, but everything else seems fine. You should just try sleeping more. Not with that tone, but but yeah,
Which devices do you connect to?
we connect to any device that you would have, basically, even your sleep bed. So Apple, Aura, Whoop, all of the usual suspects, and a lot that I have never used or come across even.
Do most of your customers, members, have wearables?
I'm sure most of them have wearables. Close to 50% connect their wearables. So a very high percentage connect their wearables. Yeah, I think most people that are interested in taking their health into their own hands and blood testing at home, that probably correlates extremely highly, or we at least we know that it does through our data with people that have wearables.
How do you incorporate the wearable data? Because it will be, you'll have different data sets depending upon what kind of device they have. Um, and so I guess the AI system has to understand that this is different data from yours and still manage to put it together.
Yes. So there are a few factors there, and it is difficult. Each of these wearables, they pour a ton of money into making, their specific biometrics presented well on their app. And so, our goal isn't to compete with all of them. We draw in their data. Most of them either have, and we classify it, most of them classify it themselves, and so it makes it easy for us. But it's classified under either like exercise, sleep. Might be one more that I'm missing, and a heart health efficiency. Um, for heart rate, HRV, there might be another biometric in there. So there are three, I believe, categories for wearables, and those become just another category on your report. You have like heart health, metabolic health, and you have like HbA1c, hormones, testosterone, so on. Sleep, you have your deep sleep, your REM sleep, and so on. And you can see like what we do is we take the previous few weeks of data leading up to your blood test. So it's not like a continuous feed. And that is what feeds into our system. And that's what you look and correlate with all of your other blood biomarker values. So you'll see like your sleep 2 weeks leading up to the blood test, how that contributed. It's not a perfect system, but we're continually working on that as well.
But it does look pretty comprehensive. I mean, it covers you cover a lot of biomarkers, like 50, and
Yeah.
like ApoB, like the ones that really matter as well. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. We try to really complement what you would get at, or at least from the start with the core program, we try to complement what you would get at your physical. Most annual physicals do not test for, ApoB. And so, uh, yeah.
Yeah, and everyone agrees that it is actually the most important number. Well, even if it
Oh,
is.
one thing that I've forgot to mention, we also have a mobile app, and mobile app we just launched. It has your entire dashboard in there and everything. But one really exciting thing that we can do with the mobile app is we launched this a body scanning feature. So you can download our app and take a body scan, every week. And it gives you all your measurements pretty accurately, like for what it's worth, like your neck circumference, your arm circumference, and your upper arm, and your waist circumference. It gets very esoteric values there, but it'll also give you estimated fat percent, fat mass, lean mass, lean percent, and so on. So you can track body composition. And we're working on incorporating that into the report itself. But that I expect that to be uh, very useful in a lot of cases, especially for our heart and metabolic assessments. So right now we send a measuring tape, so we can take your, I think it's hip to waist ratio, that's used for some risk calculation, might be HA risk score. Um, we could replace that with the body composition scanning. Yeah, yeah, we like to explore all of these different areas.
Right. So the body composition scan is done through the camera, I assume. So it's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, it's actually really well validated against DEXA scans. Now there are a lot of, it's a bit sensitive to the environment, so you need to really follow instructions, and compliance is, I haven't looked into the data yet, but I'm sure compliance will be a bit of an issue, although we haven't had customers complain yet. Um, so like if you're not in a well lit room and you have shadows appearing all over your body, or you're not wearing tight fitting clothing, uh, or it's not perfectly at waist level, then the the number will be off, surely. Um, that being said, if you do it the same way every time, it'll at least be self-consistent. So you'd be able to track your trend. But the absolute number has been under the right controls, has been validated well against DEXA. So it's just another tool, another option for people, another form of the scale.
Yes, that is cool. I mean, we were talking to someone, a guy called Dr. Michael Lustgarten, and his number one thing um, for longevity was your body composition. That that was when I said, well, what is the number one thing you care about? It's body composition. So
That's interesting. I believe that. I mean, that correlates super strongly with if have fasted, calorie restricted, which some other people probably, I don't know. What's your take? You interview all of these people, and you yourself are an expert in this field. So what's your number one thing if you had to have one? Brian Johnson says sleep.
yeah, that's a good yeah, but it's not a metric in the same way. But yeah, what do I think is the number one? I have to think.
Right. I
Actually,
guess
it's true. I
sleep
haven't thought.
isn't a metric of yourself. It's something you can do. So that's,
Yeah, it's something you can do. It's like you can't
it's
measure
not
it,
an
but
indicator.
yeah, but certainly body composition is high on my list. I mean, it's one of the things that I do.
Mhm.
I do exercise and eat with a particular idea of staying slim and um, hopefully maintaining muscle mass, which is the
So
other
then
thing.
is there like a target lean mass or body fat percent that Dr. Lustgarten uh, said was optimal?
I cannot recall. Yeah, I
I'll have to
can't
look.
remember what he was aiming for.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll need to check in with our health expert team. They're building up, the Insights Bank for body composition now, so maybe they've already accounted for his work. He actually uh he's worked with Siphox. Um, he's an affiliate of Siphox for a long time now.
Okay, doesn't surprise me. He measures so much
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, so what's the future for Siphox? You did mention that there was a device that you were kind of looking at. So can
yeah.
you talk about where you are on the device and what's the kind of plan for that?
Yeah, so Mike sent me the video so I can show it. But before we get into that, the so the regulatory process is long and arduous, but we're uh, slowly coming to a head with it. The development of the device itself is in a very good state. I don't know if I should have checked before this, if I'm at liberty to say what the expected timeline is. But I can say that it's soon.
I think that would be good. Yeah, soon is
Yeah.
good.
So just so people know, it's like a toaster-sized device. The idea is that it's similar to an espresso machine. You get the device, it's inexpensive, and then the panels will live on cartridges, and the cartridges will be disposable. So you'll drop using an arm collector, the easy draw device that I mentioned. That'll pull the blood. You'll drop the blood onto the cartridge and stick that into the toaster sized device. That will then give you your blood test results in a matter of minutes instead of days. And you have full control. So you can get any number of panels that you want on these different cartridges, use them once, dispose of them. The panels themselves will be extraordinarily inexpensive. I actually don't know if we've settled on. I know we have a target price in mind, but cheaper than what the equivalents today cost. And it's in your own home, and it's in your control, and it's like 30 minutes. So the hope is that the mission of our mission as a company is, it's not obvious at this point, is to make blood testing, it's a few fold. Make blood testing as accessible as possible. So that's as convenient and inexpensive as possible. That is critical. Diagnostics are critical to then optimizing your health, catching chronic diseases early, and so on. Just the more that you monitor your health, the healthier you'll be, is the idea. Another way of putting all of that is mission is to make concierge medicine that is typically extremely expensive and only available to the wealthy as accessible as possible so that anybody can do it. So this device, it's my opinion that it brings us much closer to that goal.
That sounds really cool. So is the idea that it'll be a total replacement, or will there still be some biomarkers that you would need to send in for?
There will, so we need to validate individual biomarkers and panels at a time. And so we won't be able to validate for every biomarker all at once. So yeah, the mail-in business will continue to be important for some things. Like right now, you cannot do complete blood count at home. You need to go into the lab to do complete blood count. So for some biomarkers like that, at least for the time being, you'll still need to go to the lab. You can't even do mail-in. But it's probably only a matter of time. Yeah. So it just for reference, and you can have whatever you want out of this. I'll mute this. uh, so this is our lab. So here the basis of the technology is these silicon photonics chips. We're actually also a chip company. That is that miniaturizes the lab equipment that exists that runs these tests today into this tiny toaster sized device. See if we get to what the and oh, I don't know if we'll have a better so this here on the right is sort of what the device will look like. At least that's what it looks like today in its current incarnation. Oh, here we go. Uh, and then you'll see the easy draw here as well. So that's the device. You just click this button down, creates a
Mm-hmm.
vacuum, blood into this tube. Uh, yeah,
Cool. That does sound really interesting. Yeah. So like I guess each biomarker needs to be approved separately by the FDA. It's like you have to show each one.
not exactly. Well, I can say the panels can be validated together. So whole panels can be validated together. And the the device itself, the toaster sized device, is somewhat separate from the cartridge. So like I believe that once the first set is approved, it's much quicker, and there's a pathway to approve more. Um, say that, but I'm not as informed on that side of
Okay.
the.
It's fine. Yeah, because I once it ships, I'm sure it will be FDA approved at that point, and so
Yeah,
it's
and we can get you quick and easy testing in Hong Kong. You won't need to ship it to the States.
that would. I mean, it just sounds brilliant. It really does. It sounds so good. I
What is the scene like in Hong Kong? I wonder if they're how long have you been in Hong Kong
I
for?
a long time. I mean, decades.
Okay.
I mean, I go. There's a place I go and go and get my blood done. It's
Hmm.
relatively. I don't know. I think it's more expensive than America, but
Is
you can
there
get.
a culture of self quantification, measuring? Uh,
No, yeah, no. Because sometimes when I go to the lab, like the doctor, I went there recently. He says, "Oh, you've got all these tests. Why did you take all these tests? Don't you feel well? It's like, you have these tests going back so many years. Don't you feel well?" And it's like, no, I just want to know what the numbers are.
yeah, that's interesting. Um, I'm
So,
sure they're big.
but your machine would be brilliant because it's still reasonably expensive to get it done, and it's so nice just do it at home once a month or something.
Yeah.
Track things. If people want to get started with Siphox, where should they go?
They can go to siphox.com, siphox.com/program, and you can get to the programs page from the main site. It's pretty easy to navigate to. So siphox.com/programs, or siphoxhealth.com/programs, sorry. You'll be able to see all of our programs that we offer. One extremely easy way to get started, and I didn't mention this before, but if you're someone that has labs and you just want to check out our platform before getting a panel, or if you're just curious about your blood test results, you didn't really understand them, we offer a free service. You can upload your blood test results. So you can create an account and upload them, and then you get access to our entire platform. That's like all of our recommendations, insights on your existing past blood test results. And you can talk to Sai about them and so on. So that is at Siphox Health, siphoxhealth.com/upload-results. And you can drag your PDF or image of your blood test results in there, and then it'll take you straight to the portal, and you'll get all the insights, recommendations that everybody else gets on your results that you got at another lab.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'll have to give that a try. I have.
Yeah. This tool is actually it's become extremely popular. I guess a lot of people have trouble interpreting their results.
Yes. Okay, brilliant. I'll definitely give that a try. Okay, and if they and that website will also be where any new information comes out. When the device comes, it'll be announced there.
Yeah. If you want to stay informed, you can sign up for our email list or follow us on Twitter, X. Um,
Cool.
yeah,
I will put those links into the description.
awesome.
Okay, Jordan, great talking to you. Very interesting. I think the work you're doing that Siphox is doing is brilliant. And yeah, good luck. I'm looking forward to this device.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, Richard. It's been awesome talking to you. It was great to meet you.
You too.